I'll be talking pretty much about my life experiences and I guess some obstacles that I've overcome to like be where I am today, which I feel like I'm a better person than I was before. So hopefully that's actually true. So, thank you, Snow. So well, let's start off this. So I have an older sister. She is 13 months older than me, and so we were always super close, always in the same schools together and everything. So we just always seemed to get compared to each other. And I didn't realize this till later that it wasn't okay for me to compare myself to my sister. Other people, you know, they're gonna do it. But for me to do it with my sister, because we weren't competing at all, but I just compared myself like, oh, well, she's better at this than me, and then also she's prettier than me, so I thought, and I got bullied a lot when I was younger, and based on how skinny I was, and that I was the ugly sister compared to my sister, so that really brought my self-esteem down, because I was just like, well, ugly, I didn't have any friends, and I was like, nope, I'm not gonna, like, I just kind of say to myself. And then I went to high school, it was freshman year, and people were like, oh, you're Olivia's sister. So it's like, oh, I come in without even having a name. And so I felt I didn't have an identity or anything, so that made my self-esteem even lower, because I'm just like, nobody who's gonna try to get to know me for me, it's just like, oh, you're little sister, and like you're just below her in pretty much every way. So in that, I felt like I was walking in her shadow, and I wanted to be included in things, because I mean, who doesn't? High school, there's cliques and stuff like that. My best friend was like the most popular person like in school, and I was just like not like at all. Like I was the other spectrum completely, and I just kind of felt alienated. Like she didn't make me feel alienated, but like her friends didn't really want to talk to me because I wasn't popular. So there was like different things that I tried to fit in. I joined the track team, which probably was one of the best things I probably could have done because I just love track, I love running, and it was a family. So I think that was the first time where I ever felt included and not like I was by myself. And I really liked that, and that's where I got like some of my best friends that I'm still best friends with now. So my biggest thing is just like don't compare yourself to other people. Like be who you are, be confident, and like play at your strengths. So then I went to undergrad. I really wanted to leave the state because I didn't have a great reputation in high school. So I wanted to have a clean slate, leave the state where nobody knows me, and I can kind of like reinvent myself in a way, like just, you know. So I went to Xavier in New Orleans. It was very difficult, just to say the least. Orientation week, I don't really like doing a lot of orientation things from the jump, so I didn't really go to a lot of orientation things, so I kind of like set myself up for not meeting people, so it's kind of my fault, but that's okay. So I was okay, so I was talking to people in my orientation group, and like we were just having conversations, oh, what's your first impression? And people were like, oh, my first impression of you is like you're really intimidating and you're really defensive. And I was like, no, I'm not, like I don't want to hear it. I was like defensive, I was like, yeah, whatever. And at that point, I was super, super defensive. Like, you can say one thing, and I'm just, like, jumping down your throat. And I'm just like, yeah, no, you can't do that. Like, so it was them telling me that, and I was just like, oh, like, all right, I got to pick and choose my battles, okay. And I got in a really big fight with my roommate over just, like, a lot of gossip and stuff. So I felt like I was back in high school, people like talking about me behind my back. But then I had to realize that it wasn't everybody. It was my roommate. So I feel like so I moved on from that. So I think at that point, I started looking like internally, like, people are pointing these things out. Like maybe they're right. You know, there's multiple people saying it. So I started looking internally, looking at my own flaws, and stopped blaming other people for things that I felt was like, that they thought was wrong with me. And I was like, yeah, no. So I just kind of was low key and just stuck to myself. And I think that's when I found like my really good friends, because even though I wasn't doing a lot and I was super low key, they were still by my side, like no matter what. So I agree with Jess, like having great friends is like, to me, it's like the key thing. Like having their support got me through like the worst of times. And I honestly just feel like you should always be your own person. It takes time. It took me probably about 8 years. Like, it takes a long time to find yourself, and it takes a lot of different experiences too. And even since coming here, I've learned a lot about myself, and just, I feel like I just had to grow up in some aspects, just on a lot of things that have been said to me, and I'm just like, is it really worth it? And most of the time it's not. You're just like, just shrug it off. Like, that's just who they are, you just keep it pushing. Also, I feel like I've gotten more in tune with the Black culture and just how important it is just to be true to yourself and your culture and all that stuff, and then learning like where you came from. And I feel like I've done a lot of like research and stuff like that, and to me it just, and I feel like it speaks to my soul, so I believe it's good. So coming here was, I think it was a great decision for me. But there was a turning point that really impacted my life that I thought, like, oh, I thought like I found myself until, you know, that one thing happened, you're like, oh, no, I didn't really find myself, like, but now I did. So pretty much turning point happened at Ross, where something happened in 2015, but I didn't realize what it was until I watched a video on sexual assault here, we had to watch, and I was just like, oh, crap, like, wow, that was 2015, that happened to me. And I feel like me realizing it made me more, like, made me stronger mentally, pretty much, because I didn't tell anybody about it, so I kind of like buried it. So I was thinking about it or anything like that. But then when I told my friends about it, they really, like, they were there for me. Like, they didn't like victim blame me or anything. And it was like, I think that's what really got me through. It's just like them being there for me. Because I feel with sexual assault, the first thing they do is just like, oh, well, what were you doing? What were you wearing? What could you do to prevent that? And I'm just like, and then when you're just hearing that, you're just like, when you think about yourself, you're just like, what could I have done? You know, you are blaming yourself. So I had my friends take me out of that mentality to be like, why are you blaming yourself? Like, this is not your fault. So that was a big impact for me, and I feel like that made me a lot, mentally stronger a lot, and it's really helped me like through life. And we're working with the No Judgment SKN to do, go into high schools and talk about like consent and sexual assault, and I'm like really, really proud to be like working with them in the Ministry of Education to just, you know, educate the youth just about like something this important that can be, you know, avoided. Like, if you just need education on it. And I'm really happy about that. And I'm just happy that that instance out of me didn't defeat me, and I just came stronger out of it. Because a lot of people, it defeats them, and they can't move past it and stuff like that. So I think the only thing that made me past it is my friends' support and realizing I needed time to like, you know, let it sink in because I buried it for so long and stuff like that. And even in May, I got in a really bad car accident, and you know, when you meet people at Ross, you know, we're meeting people for the first time, you're getting to know them, you want to think people are your friends, but they're not sometimes. And they may show themselves, you know, later down the line, or they may show their true selves earlier. So when I got in my car accident, I went to Miami to get like medical support, and I realized who was really my friends. People who kept checking on me, not like, oh, I heard it once. It was just like, oh, you good? Okay, good. Like, you know, I heard your car. Like, people who continued to like check on me, make sure I was okay, if I needed anything. And I feel like then that's when I realized who my true friends were here, and it's great. And also, I just feel like I've just become a lot more confident, like in myself and what I can do. Because I really had a lot of doubt before, and I looked down on myself, and I was just like, you know what, Alie, like, you made it to that school. Like, you made it like past a lot of these hurdles. Like, if you can make it past this, you can keep going. So that's how I feel. So, and I feel like since then I've had leadership roles, I've had help with the LGBT event with Tony and with Lauren, and they've been literally amazing. And I feel like if I hadn't gotten past these things, I wouldn't have the confidence to go ahead and have these events, have leadership roles, and try to get involved in the community. And then I just feel like it's just a lot to deal with. But, I think my biggest thing that I pride myself on is I don't dwell on a lot of things. So something happens and it's upsetting. I'll be upset about it, like okay, but I'm not gonna keep dwelling on it. Like I'll get over it. It may take me a day or two, but I'm not gonna hold grudges, I'm not gonna dwell on things, because it's just like, what's the point? Like, you know it happened, have it in the back of your mind so it doesn't happen again, but that's really all you can do. You need to move past it, because if not, you're just stuck in the past, and you don't want that. And like I said before, my friends and my family, like they've supported me through everything, and I could not have done it without them, like at all, not at all. A couple quotes that like make me very happy inside. So, I have a daily quote app that like, some of the quotes are really bad, I'm not gonna lie. But some of them are like really good. And I have my little notebook or my quotes in, so I can like look back at it if I'm feeling down, stuff like that. So I have 3 quotes, they're not long at all. So the way you perceive and react to the world is a choice. And I'm gonna say yes, because I'm just like, the way you react to it, I feel like, because you can perceive it in one way and react the wrong way. Like it's just, how you perceive and react are big things. It says either make ourselves miserable or we make ourselves strong. The amount of work is the same. And I agree, because I've been on both spectrums where I could have chosen to dwell on things and just like, feel like crap. Or I could figure out a way to move past it. And they probably honestly would cry the same amount of energy, most likely. Because being miserable is a lot of energy. It takes like everything out of you. My last one is, you may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. So I talk to you, I'm like, you can, my thing is you can, not only, but a good way to get stronger is to overcome obstacles and stuff like that. And I think that's how I got stronger, is going through all this. Yeah, it sucked to go through it, yeah, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, and that these things that happened to me, I wouldn't be where I am today, and I love where I am today, so that's it.